So, here we can test ourselves. How much ikhlas do we have? Or to paraphrase it, how much do we treat Allah as an ends in Himself? Or God forbid, how much do we treat Allah as a means to something else? And thus, we are compromising Allah's worship with that ends, the ends in which you're using Allah as a means to. Whatever you use Allah as a means to, such as it may be a worldly benefit, it may be a heavenly benefit, we've gone through the examples. However way you do it, that which you're using Allah as a means to is termed in Quranic terminology as an idol. And you are associating that idol with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore you're a polytheist. You're a mushrik, albeit of a concealed nature. In chapter 39, verse 45, وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ, when Allah is mentioned alone, اشْمَأَزَّتْ قُلُوبُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ, the hearts of those who don't believe in the hereafter. They have an academic understanding and accept the academic hereafter, but the hereafter hasn't been incorporated into their hearts. Such people, when Allah's name is mentioned, but Allah alone, they shrink with aversion when it comes to doing any given action for Him alone. However, وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِهِ إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ, but when other than Allah is mentioned, so Allah is mentioned not alone, but with other than Allah too, there they start rejoicing. And that other than Allah, these are idols and associates of Allah. You have deemed them as associates. You look at them as associates with Allah, and you are submitting to them, and you are worshipping them. And therefore you, albeit in a concealed sense, are an idol worshipper. Don't think the idol worshippers in the Quran, mentioned in the Quran, are only in relation to a few people at that time and has no practical relevance today. No, the number of idol worshippers has increased a lot today. It's much more than before. And so that other than Allah mentioned, that idol, it may be a worldly incentive. They say to you, forgive him for Allah's sake. Give money for this hospital for Allah's sake. You shrink with aversion. Why? Why don't you do it? Assuming you had the means to give money or any other worldly incentive. Here you shrink with aversion because you don't see anything at the bottom of the pot, so to speak. There's nothing you can receive in return for helping a hospital, helping an orphanage, helping your needy neighbor, and so on and so forth. But when they say, do this for this hospital, and you'll get this in return, they rejoice. That they're ready to do. This is a common formula. It's a universal equation. Its applications are innumerable. But the point is, this is concealed shirk. That you do something for Allah, but it is something that you're attentive to and you want in return. That something can be a worldly incentive, it may be a metaphysical incentive. Now here we can evaluate ourselves.